Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
Madame O'Reilly was a very careful woman. She did not like to spend money. She saved every coin, and her husband, O'Reilly, almost had no pocket money. They had no children and were comfortable, but spending money made Madame O'Reilly feel very upset. When she had to spend money, she could not sleep well. O'Reilly often said to his wife, "We have no children and don't spend much money. You can be a little more generous." Madame O'Reilly would reply, "We don't know what will happen. It's better to save more." Madame O'Reilly was a small woman, about 40 years old. She was quick, neat, and had a short temper. O'Reilly worked as a head clerk in an office. He didn't like that his wife made him save so much. For 2 years, he had an old umbrella that made his coworkers laugh at him. Tired of the jokes, he asked his wife to buy a new one. She bought a cheap one, but his coworkers still made fun of it. O'Reilly was upset and told his wife to buy him a better umbrella for 20 francs. She bought one for 18 francs and said angrily, "This will last 5 years." O'Reilly was happy and showed it to his coworkers. When he came home, his wife warned him to take care of the umbrella. She opened it and saw a big hole in the silk. She was shocked and very angry. "What is this?" she screamed. Her husband replied calmly without looking. "What is it? What do you mean?" Madame O'Reilly was so angry, she could barely speak. "You burned your umbrella. Are you crazy? Do you want to waste all our money?" O'Reilly turned pale and asked, "What are you talking about?" She pushed the hole in the umbrella in front of his face. He was shocked and stammered, What is this?" "I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened to the umbrella. You were showing it off at the office," she yelled. "I only opened it once to show them how nice it was. That's all, I promise." But she was furious. She patched the umbrella with silk from the old one, even though the colors didn't match. The next day, O'Reilly went to work with the fixed umbrella. He put it away and forgot about it. When he came home that evening, his wife grabbed the umbrella. She opened it and almost fainted. It was covered in little burned holes. It was ruined. She stared at it, too angry to speak. O'Reilly was also shocked and scared. They looked at each other, and then she threw the umbrella at him. "You did this on purpose. You won't get another one," she screamed. They argued for an hour. O'Reilly didn't know what happened. He thought someone had done it on purpose. A ring at the door saved him. It was a friend coming for dinner. Madame O'Reilly talked to their friend about the umbrella. She refused to buy a new one for her husband. The friend said, "If you don't, his clothes will get ruined, and they cost more than the umbrella." But she was still angry and replied, "He can use the kitchen umbrella when it rains. I won't buy a new silk one." O'Reilly was upset. "I won't go to work with a kitchen umbrella. I'll quit my job first." Their friends suggested, "Why not get it fixed? It won't cost much." But Madame O'Reilly said, "It will cost 8 francs to fix it. I've already spent 18. That's 26 francs for an umbrella. That's too much." Then the friend had an idea. "Ask your fire insurance to pay for it. They cover anything burned in your house." Hearing this, Madame O'Reilly calmed down and told her husband, "Tomorrow, Go to the insurance company and make them pay for the umbrella. O'Reilly was shocked. I won't do that. We've lost the money, but it's not the end of the world. The next day, he took a walking stick to work because it wasn't raining. Left alone, Madame O'Reilly couldn't stop thinking about the 18 francs. She didn't want to lose the money. She thought of going to the insurance company, but felt too shy and embarrassed to talk to strangers. However, the thought of losing the money hurt her like a wound. Finally, she made up her mind. I will go and see what happens. She prepared the umbrella by burning a large hole with a match. Then she put on her bonnet and shawl and walked toward the insurance office. But as she got closer, she walked slower. She started worrying. What will I say? What will they tell me? Madame O'Reilly walked slowly, looking at the house numbers. She had time, so she walked even slower. Suddenly, she saw the big brass sign, La Maternelle Fire Insurance Office. She felt nervous and embarrassed. She passed by the door, came back, then passed it again. Finally, she told herself, I have to go in. I might as well do it now. Her heart was beating fast as she entered. Inside, there were many small doors with men behind them. She stopped a man with papers and asked shyly, Excuse me, where do I ask about something that was burned? He replied loudly, First door on the left. This scared her even more. She wanted to leave and forget the 18 francs, but the thought of losing the money gave her strength. She walked upstairs slowly, stopping often to catch her breath. At the first door, she knocked. A voice said, Come in. She entered a large room where 3 serious men were talking. One asked, What do you want, madam? She was nervous and stammered, I came because of an accident. Something. He kindly offered her a seat. Please sit, I will help you in a moment. He turned back to the other men and continued, The company will only pay 400,000 francs. Not the extra 100,000 you are asking for. The surveyor's report. One of the men interrupted, That's enough. The courts will decide, and we are done here. Then they left after bowing to each other. Madame O'Reilly wished she could leave too, but it was too late. The man turned to her and said, Now, what can I do for you, madam? Madame O'Reilly could hardly speak, but finally said, I came about this. The manager looked at the broken umbrella she showed him. Her hands were shaking as she tried to open it. After many tries, she finally opened the damaged umbrella. It looks very bad, he said kindly. It cost me 20 francs, she said nervously. He was surprised. Really? That much? Yes, it was a good umbrella. I wanted you to see how it looks now. Yes, I see, he replied. But I don't understand why you're showing this to me. She felt unsure. Maybe they didn't pay for small things like umbrellas. So she said, But it's burned. I see that, he answered. She was unsure what to say next, but then remembered, I'm Madame O'Reilly. We are insured with La Maternelle, and I want to claim the damage. I just want you to cover the cost to fix it, she added quickly, afraid he might say no. The manager seemed confused. But madam, we don't repair umbrellas. That's not something we do. Madame O'Reilly wasn't ready to give up. She felt braver now and said, I just want the money to fix it. I can do the repair myself. The manager was still unsure. Madam, this is such a small matter. We don't usually pay for small things like this. We can't pay for handkerchiefs, gloves, or slippers that get burned. Madame O'Reilly got upset. But monsieur, last December, our chimney caught fire and caused 500 francs in damage. O'Reilly didn't claim anything from the company, so it's only fair you pay for my umbrella now. The manager, sensing she was lying, smiled and said, "It's strange that O'Reilly didn't claim 500 francs for the chimney, but is asking for 5 or 6 francs for an umbrella now." Madame O'Reilly was not upset and said, "Monsieur, the 500 francs was O'Reilly's problem, but this damage of 18 francs is my problem." That's different. The manager saw he couldn't get rid of her and said, "Tell me how the damage happened." Feeling like she won, she explained, "In our hall, we have a stand for umbrellas. The other day, I put my umbrella in it. Above it, there's a shelf for candles and matches. I lit a match, but it didn't work. I tried again, and the second match went out too. The third one worked, and I went to bed. But after a while, I smelled something burning. I got up and looked everywhere. Finally, I saw my umbrella burning. A match must have fallen on it. You can see the damage." The manager, ready to help, asked, "How much damage is it?" She wasn't sure and said, "Maybe you should handle it. I'll leave it to you." He refused politely. "No, madam, just tell me the amount." She replied, "I don't want to take too much. How about this? I'll take it to be fixed with good, strong silk, and I'll bring you the bill. Does that sound good?" "Perfect," the manager said. "Here's a note for the cashier to repay you." Madame O'Reilly took the paper, thanked him, and left quickly before he could change his mind. She walked through the streets, looking for a good umbrella shop. When she found one, she said, "I want this umbrella covered in the best silk you have. I don't care what it costs.